Right, good evening to the January 13th Parks and Rec meeting, the first of 2026, meeting called to order at 7 p.m. So I will pull up the agenda and we'll get started. So we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the one thing that we do is we alternate who takes notes, because we don't have a secretary position per se that is a permanent note taker. So we just do it. We have a rotation, so
I'll grab.
you'll take it?
Yeah.
All right. So roll call tonight, we have Dennis Callen, Chair, we have Tom Del Monte, we have our newest members, Lydia and Ryan, and we have Jeff Eldon, Director of Public Works. Jeff attends most meetings when his schedule allows, which is very generous of him to donate to come after hours. And we have Jean Barak, who's the Borough Council Liaison to Parks and Rec and a former Parks and Rec member who joins us when she's able. So with no members of the public, we don't have to do a public comment, but I want to take the opportunity to introduce you to introduce yourself to the rest of the board, and we appreciate you volunteering to serve and join us. So Lydia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to join us?
Sure. So my name is Lydia Jordan. I've been in Narborough since 2019. I live on Sabine Avenue, so pretty much catty corner from the park. And I have elementary school, well, a middle schooler and an elementary school child. So we're very interested in parks and programming when it comes to recreation. So looking forward to contributing.
Did you join the last walk to school?
I did, yes.
Okay, then that's how you look.
Oh,
You look familiar.
yeah.
Because my daughter's in fourth grade.
Okay, so I'm a third grader and a fifth grader.
A Belmont?
Belmont, yeah.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I moved to Norbert, my wife and two kids, late 2024. I spent a lot of time volunteering, really with kids stuff at the Los Angeles Public Library, Philadelphia Library, and I enjoy parks. I like being outside, some of my kids, and I'm a big proponent of public education, so that's why I decided to join.
Thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to working with you this year, and we might as well introduce ourselves. Tom.
Yeah. So Tom Del Monte, how are you? I joined in the middle of last year, picking up someone else's term, or the early part of last year. So fairly new as well. Live on Marion Avenue, so right behind the playground of Marion Elementary School. My kids are a little bit older, but have gone through all the Narborough systems. So 25-year-old boy living up in Boston, and my 20-year-old is a junior at Pitt. So, and have consumed a lot of the benefits of parks with the kids, and it was like, all right, well, time to give back.
Yeah, thanks. And Dennis Callen, I've been on Parks and Rec for 4 years now, and it's been great. I have a fourth grader at Belmont Mills and a sixth grader at Welsh Valley. So I've been in Norwood now a decade. Yeah. So it's nice to get back to the town. So well, you might as well, Jeff, you know who Jeff is from his title, but if you want to say a few words, I'll put you on the spot.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Eldon. I've been working for the borough since November of 2019. I've been in my current position for about 4 years now. My background and degree is in landscaping and horticulture, and that's what I did prior to coming here. And I've just been along for the ride for 6 years and making a lot of improvements and helping folks out.
Well, It's an understatement. His team does a great job. Gene,
You kind of gave me an introduction already, but Jean Hora, Borough Council, I am the liaison for the board. We like to have a council liaison for every board and community so that we have that connection, direct connection to the Borough Council. So I usually bring issues that come up here and decisions that come up here to the full council. If there's any actions that need to be made, particularly with financial position.
it's nice to have her as an advocate. So the first thing we're going to do is review and approve the minutes from our prior meeting on November 18th, which I had sent out via email. If no one has any additions to those, then we would take a vote to approve them. And the way we handle votes is someone makes a motion, someone seconds it, and then we all vote yay or nay. So if nobody has any additions to the November 18th meetings, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So unanimously approved. And then our first order of business after that is to select a new Parks and Rec vice chair. So Dennis Brogan recently stepped down, as I indicated in the email last week, to serve on another board within the borough. So he's continuing to serve. And he was an integral part of our progress over the last 2 years, helping with the master park plan and other important items. And then Rebecca Moore stepped down because she took on a role to be a judge of voting. So that precludes her borough policy from holding this position, or serving on any board for that matter. So that's why we have the openings. And so as far as a vice chair role, the responsibility would be to run the meetings in my absence is the main responsibility. So we're going to vote on that tonight. And I need to double check my email to see if the other members absent expressed any interest in that. I hadn't heard earlier, so let me double check. I don't. So in absence, Gene, keep me honest here. So can we nominate somebody who's absent, or should we wait till the next meeting to take a vote when we have 100% attendance?
So as long as you have a quorum, you can vote on it, but it's also up to your discretion.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we have enough to take a vote, but not having all the members, I think we'll table that until the March meeting so that we can have Jamie and Cheyenne in attendance, who are the senior most members of the board. So I'd like to have them be part of that and see if they would be interested in taking on that role. So we'll table that till March. The next item is our March 10th annual park user preparation. So what we do annually is we gather the park user groups, which, for example, Narberth Athletic Association, Alex's Guitar Shop, who he coordinates the music in the park, that series. He helps get the music, the acts. So we get user groups like that to attend and get their feedback on what's working and what's not working, if there's anything that they need to continue to utilize our parks over the coming year. So, and some can join in person, some can join virtually, and some they'll just email us their feedback. So that meeting, we're going to pull up our park user group list, and we'll go over that to confirm we've got everyone on it.
Is that just the feedback meeting, or do we also, is that where we gather funding or cost asks from them?
It's
Am I
both.
mixing?
So
It's
if
both,
they
yeah.
have asks that weren't brought to our attention before the end of the previous year, there's no guarantee that there's going to be funding for it because we didn't submit as a budget, but usually those groups, or historically, those groups have gone direct to the borough manager, like Narberth Athletic. Oh, the netting is
Yeah.
ripped and
Like I remember that conversation
so
of.
they'll bring that to their attention in real time.
Okay, okay.
And then the borough can address that. But yeah, good point. Like, one of the things that came up from a prior meeting was a defibrillator. So 2 years ago, that was brought up. And then we discussed it with Jeff, Borough Council, and we have one in this building that's close enough, that's close to the fields. So to put a stand up an independent unit wasn't necessary. So that's an example of things that come out of the park user meeting. So let me pull up our list of park user group. Right. Should be, there you go. It might be hard to see, but I said Alex's Guitar by accident. And do you know why? Because Alex was the name of the guitar shop in my neighborhood in Manning for many years.
Danny.
So Danny's. Then there's Friends of Sabine Park, the Girl Scouts, the 4th of July Committee, Narberth Athletic Association, Boys and Girls Basketball, Narberth Business Association, the Civic Association, Co-op Gardens, the library, men's baseball, the Narberth Run, Shade Tree Commission, and St. Margaret's. So if there's any organizations that we need to add to that, let me know. If not, this is who will be invited to the meeting in March.
For just in the specific example, you mentioned Danny, and I think Danny's either retiring and then might not be doing.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, from what I believe I've heard from
Right.
from the MBA is the new landlord and rent. And so he's actually gonna close up shop sometime. So I don't, in the sense of if we know if there's anybody else then who's in charge of
All right.
music acts that we don't want to miss
Sure.
having them come in if there's some kind of handoff between Danny and somebody, like I don't know if it's Tracy David, Sweet Maples, who knows, but
All right.
I can inquire if that's still the case.
You know what I'll
Through
do is
MBA, or if there's,
instead of waiting until February, I'll send out this meeting
and then he can answer back.
information. I'll send out the meeting invite, now and then again, a reminder in February, but hey, Danny, heard you.
Yeah.
Gonna be closing. Who's gonna be
Right.
taking the point on helping book the acts?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And he may still, just because the business closed, he
Sure.
may still, I mean, he still is a musician in place, so he
Yeah.
may still carry that.
Is he
role.
gonna
I'm not
continue
sure.
to offer lessons somewhere?
I'm not sure, unsure of that, yeah, or at least I hadn't heard of it,
Okay, well, that's a shame.
yeah.
Okay. Now, can either of you think of any other organizations that we may have missed that utilize the park?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Who wants that Top Gun baseball?
Top Gun Baseball is, from what I know from neighbors whose kids have attended, he just does it. Yeah, like summer and school's off, like during the summer, and then sometimes I believe sometimes on days like in this, when the kids are off in nice weather, like in the fall and spring, but I don't know who runs it, so
I feel like he is tied in with the,
NAA.
yeah, I feel like I've gotten emails about Top Gun from the
Okay.
NAA, but I
Well,
could be
then
wrong, I'm sure.
I'll ask. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for
Motivation.
Top Gun. Alright, I'll ask Maureen from NAA and Jim, who runs Top Gun, if he coordinates directly with them or not. Okay,
Do any of those groups contribute any sort of funds at all, or?
so at this time, no, which does the baseball contributes because they're collecting money from participants, correct?
St. Margaret's and the NAA.
NNAA. Okay, so those
they
three.
split every purchase we make for the field. They split, so the borough pays a third, NAA a third, St. Margaret's a third.
Okay.
So whether that's seed, fertilizer, equipment rental, they choose.
And the other groups, they're not utilizing it in the same capacity. But one thing that Borough Council asked us to do last year and haven't, so I'm jumping ahead, we haven't gotten a response, was their fundraising capabilities. Because over the coming, in the coming years, we're going to be working to implement parts of the master park plan after Borough Council prioritizes the items. And so what's the fundraising capability of all of the groups that utilize the park so that we could raise additional funds? And again, we haven't gotten any feedback from them, but I will ask them again, and we'll bring it up during the March meeting as well to see what their capabilities are. Okay. So that is the March 10th annual park user meeting prep. And exciting news, we had a successful movie night, 2 successful movie nights last year, one in April in Narberth Park and one in September in Sabine Park, and we're going to do them again, just flipping the order. So the spring event, the spring movie night will be in Sabine and the fall will be in Narberth Park. We came up with the idea to invite food trucks to feed the attendees rather than try to do a standalone food truck festival, which we tried to do last year. However, we didn't get a commitment from enough vendors to make it a viable event. So the board came up with the idea to just add it on to the movie night to see if we can get a commitment from vendors, focusing on pizza, cheesesteak, and ice cream. Keep it simple. I reached out to our list of vendors last fall, didn't hear back. I will reach out to them again in the new year to see if any of them are willing to commit to coming.
For both, or just focusing on the May now?
Focusing on the May.
Yeah, right.
Because the Sabine parking lot allows for, has the space, and we wouldn't have to deal with them parking in the street here. And there's also a buffer, more of a noise buffer up there in the parking lot to the field where the movie would be. So that's the plan. The May 15th night, that's a Friday. The rain date will be the following day. So what we want to talk about tonight is what movie we'll show. I wanted to come up with a list so that in March we can decide, finalize the movie for our May movie night. In the fall, we're going to go with the Halloween theme like we did last year with E.T. But May, wanted to come up with a list of a handful of movies that we could look into. And believe it or not, we learned last year that different movies have different costs.
Yeah.
Different titles have different costs to get the a licensing fee to show it in public. So we'll, but it's not a deterrent. It's not like it's huge difference. It's just funny to see,
Right.
interesting to see that there's cost difference. So let's brainstorm.
And we did Sandlot last.
Yeah, we did
spring,
Sandlot
right?
in the
When it was-
spring.
when it was here.
So Sandlot and ET have been done. We'll check those off. Any ideas come to either of your minds? What was the last kids movie you watched with your kids? Not in the theater.
So,
Zootopia.
I haven't-
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sequel yet.
I haven't, well, my kids saw it, but I have
Okay.
not seen the sequel.
Yeah.
But Zootopia, we watched both.
Okay.
So in terms of like the cost breakdown, was it like more recent ones were more expensive and older ones were cheaper? Or-
No, there's no rhyme or reason because Sandlot was more expensive than ET.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, an older one, yeah,
Not expecting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
and they're in the neighborhood of 1,000. Or that's maybe the whole setup for the, with,
The licenses vary anywhere between like 600 to like 1100.
yeah, it's just to give a sense. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to stick with like spring, baseball, and Field of Dreams, that would be,
Add that to the list. That's a good one.
I don't know what's rated.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
Are you looking for a certain age range? Like, are you looking for something that caters to?
Great point. So we want something that appeals to elementary up and obviously their parents. So, yeah, so anything PG, no PG-13. And because that can, yeah, maybe be too racy for some kids and there are for little kids, but Goonies is one I thought of. So we could add Goonies to the list.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, is that?
Well, I can say personally that my daughter didn't like the end when their faces melted.
yeah.
And that is PG. So, so I would, based on that, I don't think Raiders of the Lost Ark would be ideal. So,
The kids really like the Mario movie, but that makes,
the most recent one,
yeah.
we can add that to the list to see what it costs, since, you know. Yeah, because what this will help us do is, once we come up with a list of, half a dozen, Jeff can find out from the vendor.
How long ago was Zootopia, the first one with that? I mean, that feels.
It was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like long enough.
Yeah, so we can add Zootopia. So Marion, Zootopia, Goonies, what are we up to?
Field of Dreams, Goonies, Mario's 4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what ones we kind of didn't make the cut last time that we thought of.
Yeah, I can't think of those either. Gene, any thoughts on movies?
you're a movie pro.
Uh,
I mean, our kids love Back to the Future. I don't know.
So,
That's-
Expensive.
funny enough, because I just Googled this, and 3 that came up were Back to the Future, The Truman Show, and Zootopia.
Truman Show is a really good one.
And E.T. and Goonies are on here too.
Yeah. Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll add to the list, okay.
Yeah.
We can add Truman Show to the list. Yeah, they
Are we
would.
really giving away?
Yeah, I think. About the Jimmy Carrey movies.
I like any of
The
that.
Mask might be too scary.
Those Ace Ventura ones.
Ace
are they a little too
Ventura's. the fir-
Edgy, or I forget.
Yeah, it's towards the end of that.
Yeah, it does get edgy at the end because they do a satire on the crying game at the
Okay.
end. So the kids might, what is that? So, but up until then, it actually isn't that too racist, although there is someone who does get killed in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he is trying to solve a crime. But
I think the car, I mean, I know Pixar is probably expensive as all get out,
Yeah.
but like at the
Yeah.
cars, it's old enough now, maybe potentially.
Yeah, we could add Cars to that. That was fun to watch with the kids. What's the last movie your kids watched, Jeff?
Before I left, we were watching Encanto. That's a good one. My daughter, albeit she's 3, about to be 4, she watches The Princess Bride.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why she's obsessed with that movie.
That is a great movie. We should add that to
And
the list.
that's, why do I feel that's been kind of popular, but it was one of the actors, I don't know if it's an anniversary
Oh,
or something,
because-
but it's,
Rob Reiner.
oh, Rob Reiner, yeah,
Yeah.
Rob Reiner, yeah.
But yeah, that's a great one.
I was chuckling because when we were here for the ice event that we had that lasted like 21 hours. We took a 3-hour break around like 1 a.m.
Uh-huh.
and we watched Ace Ventura. And we kind of forgot how raunchy.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's funny, we had thought about, because I remember we mentioned Goonies last time too. There's a lot of son of a bitch in Goonies. I was, very surprised. I remember we watched it for fun with the kids. I was like, I don't remember that.
There's a lot of person about the movie. I think like when you watch it on TV, they just,
Sure, yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. So we
Well,
can
we
take
can-
Goonies off the list
yeah.
because they also hold that one kid
Yeah.
hostage. They have him tied up, so that could be
Yeah, a little.
alarming. Because they basically kidnapped that one kid who then Chunk saves.
Yeah.
So that might be
Um,
distressing to some kids.
With Cars, Incredibles, I mean, they kind of.
Incredibles, yeah.
Yeah.
Cars Incredibles, so that's a good short list. Any others? Can't do Major League, that's right, that's rated R. Can't do Airplane.
Totoro,
What?
which is Totoro, it's like a Japanese cartoon.
Okay,
It's great, yeah, it's a great movie. But
is it in English or something?
yeah, it's English, I think it's in English, right? They have it in
yeah,
English,
they
they have
have
it
a
in
dub
subtitles.
version.
Yeah,
But it's a Miyazaki film, I don't know if you know
No,
Miyazaki.
Mm-mm.
There's a whole bunch of Japanese
okay.
anime.
And how to
Add it to the
spell?
list.
Totoro.
R, right. Okay.
If you go by Mido and they have that big, like,
Yeah.
that's Totoro.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, is that what that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Always looks like the Union Busting Rat every once in a while.
Yeah.
You see those things. It's like it's not that. It's not that. It's a character from something. I know someone's not picketing. Mido. Yeah.
What's the movie? Up? The house in the balloons.
Big one.
That is so heartwarming.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, that has a theme of volunteerism and like
Mhm.
service
Mhm,
and
mhm.
but it's also really cute. All right, so yeah, that's a great short list that we can vote on during the March meeting and I'll email it to Jeff so that he can see what the cost breakdown is, just to make sure none
Yeah.
of them are ridiculous, would blow our budget. Because we do have the budget for this event, for the 2 events approved already. We submitted last fall in September. So, yeah, we just want to make sure we want to stay within that budget.
So when you mentioned fundraising earlier, did you mean fundraising just for this board?
Oh, no, yeah, let me clarify that, good question. So when we developed the master park plan, it's the first comprehensive plan for all the public space in the borough. It was a project that took 1.5 years and it was worked on by a subcommittee of members that included members of this board and representatives of the community, from business to educators. And so as the Borough Council determines which areas to prioritize, they're going to simultaneously need to start fundraising some money. Now, grants will be applied for. There's certain aspects of the park plan that there's opportunity to apply for grants, but you'll always need fundraising. So that's something that we wanted to get the find out from the community organizations. You know, and then there's of course corporate sponsorships. So Quakertown they redid their main park during COVID. And I visited it with my children during construction and then after construction. And they had donations from community members that certain levels you could get just, and it wasn't ostentatious or tacky, but like little like signage for people that donated. But then they had a main sponsor, which was their community-based, their bank in Quakertown that, you know, is it's a local business. And they were the premier sponsor. So they have a nice sign, but they did local fundraising grants as well. So, you know, we would emulate that type of, you know, effort that other communities were successful with. Anyway, yeah, so two different, the money, the borough is generously offered to cover the movie night last year, and again in 26. So that's great. All right, so got our short list of movies for the spring. The fall planning is, since there won't be any food trucks, you know, we can table that until we have all the members present and we can brainstorm some more movies. But there's nothing else to that. But if we did want to add to it, there's nothing that prevents us from, if we have ideas for bringing in someone that wants to set up a table and offer their food, but we weren't, the idea of having a food truck on Windsor again is not something that we can plan to do. But if somebody wants to come and offer to set up a table and sell popcorn, that's great, that's fine too. So those are things we can discuss in March and get them, you know, buttoned up.
I think we talked about, if I remember, maybe ideas about potentially contacting some of the local businesses if they offered a deal and people wanted to get takeout or something like that.
Yeah.
And bring stuff with them.
That's an idea too.
You know, on that movie night, if 10% off if you order. Whatever.
Yeah, Coco Thai wants to, etc. Margaret Pizza wants to take orders ahead of time.
The new place will be open now. So.
Oh yeah, the new restaurants
Yeah.
at the corner. So those are ideas we can finalize, or discuss and finalize during our March meeting. Elm Grove programming, we can table that because Jamie Days has taken the lead on that. The idea is, so the idea behind the movie night is tied to the Elm Grove programming. So it was to activate our 3 parks and showcase them and give back to the community. And Elm Grove is our newest public space in South Narberth. And so we wanted to do environmental education events there. So that's something, or maybe yoga, something that wouldn't require a fee. Nobody would come in and charge, but just somebody to volunteer their time to do a program there. So Jamie's taking the lead on that. So we'll get an update from her.
If I may.
Yes.
I also know that Ryan, like, brings a lot of experience with environmental education as well, so I'm hoping
Oh, yeah.
to hear some ideas from him as well. On that, because I know we meant to do that last year and that never
Correct.
took off. We were trying to partner with Rural American Conservancy, but I do think there's some opportunity to really activate on those skills in different ways.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, we were talking about it last year. So I spent half my professional life teaching high school and middle school science. And I've done some volunteering with local organizations, leading lessons and programming outside. So yeah, I mean, if I know more about what you guys have in mind, I'm happy to develop some stuff.
Well, we're open to anything that's related to, environmental education. It doesn't have to be specific to like trying to identify plant species and water creatures in, the stream, it could be anything, but just hosting it in that space because it is a nice space that looks beautiful now because of Jeff's crew. I mean, do you remember what it used to look like?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to showcase it. So we're open to any ideas you have, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but feel free to brainstorm and bring ideas to us in March. Because all we'd have to do is just inform the borough that we're going to do it on this date and time, and there's no cost associated with it, and then we could start promoting it. There's really no
So
other barriers to executing the event.
I mean, I walked there back in November. Is it going to change drastically from, its current state?
We're gonna put in a massive jungle gym. No. No, that is one park that in the master park, or one space that in the master park plan, it would not be developed into a park with a jungle gym or traditional, park of kids' equipment. It would be nature-based stuff. There's ideas.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
I didn't report about it. I don't, it hasn't been finalized yet, like.
Well, the ideas have the options were approved, but which ones are implemented comes down to, funding. But like natural play areas, and then opening up this side, our side of the creek, naturalizing it, and putting a walkway through it, etc. So it's not going to change drastically, it's just going to be improved. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to come up with some ideas in the meantime.
And I think the programming point of it there was to slowly introduce it, that this is now one of the newest parks, and so so it would stay, would most likely stay as is, certainly for the near term for sure. Yeah, so no changes for a while.
And I have to say, I have spoken to a lot of residents who don't know where it is. So I think it could do with a bit more promotion around it and activation around it.
Yeah.
There's no signage, and it's just like kind of like I think it's not almost like
So any ideas we welcome, teaching about bugs, whatever, plants, trees, you name it. The stream banks, of course, they're not, that's part of taking those stream banks down is potential future plan. It's not something that it's going to happen soon. So you would be able to jump down into the stream with the kids. For your event, but
so is that creek is on our property or?
yeah, it's split down the middle between the private property next to it and us. Yeah,
The creek itself is the delineation, is the boundary line.
Something that's on the near term capital plan project is the Elmwood pedestrian bridge that will be open soon, and then there's the stormwater at the end of Elmwood Avenue,
Okay.
coming up soon as well. So I don't know, maybe there could be some sort of education around stormwater in there.
Okay. Is there any?
Do you know the timing of that again?
The bridge.
For the stormwater project.
That will go in once the pedestrian bridge is
Right,
done.
so that's after.
Yeah, because we'll apply for a grant for that, and then we'll probably take about 10 to 15 feet of the elbow and make that entire dead and a rain garden there.
And is that, you said, is that a 26 project or we are not sure on the pedestrian part?
Pedestrian bridge, I know Maggie and our engineers had their prelim meeting with the DEP to see what applicable permits we need to pull for that. They have their design meeting. I'm fairly certain that already took place. And then our first round of grants, I believe, is due, our grant application is due in March.
Oh, gotcha.
So in a perfect world, we will get all of our grants in, submitted.
Mhm.
We'll find out by end of year, we'll be in
Gotcha.
production early
Makes sense.
27.
Got it. Oh, cool.
Well, thanks for taking that on as far as brainstorming potential educational programming, that'd be great. And then at the next meeting, you'll meet Jamie and she could provide any assistance necessary. The next item, any new business that needs to be addressed in our next meeting or at this time? Okay. And that covers it. We went through everything and we can close the meeting out. So do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:41 PM? All right, second, all in favor? Aye. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. And thank you again for volunteering.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This came through today, this is, I'm sorry.